Okay.
I want to show you some quilts that you might be interested in. This one was made by Grandma Hotopp, and Tanty was named for her, Elizabeth. So Grandma wanted Tanty to have this quilt, and it's I don't know the name of any of these patterns, but you can see what tiny little pieces it has. And this quilting is so unusual. These little tufts here are stuffed. They're puffy. And the quilting itself is so tiny, such tiny stitches.
A real heirloom.
Yeah. And I don't know how old Grandma was when she died in 1908, so it has some age on it. And it's been used, because you can tell it's been washed a number of times. And the dye didn't seem to run at all. Some of our dyes today run badly. This is a quilt that Tanty made. I suppose she started it about 10 years before her death. It was after she learned that she had a malignancy. And I believe she must have wanted to leave something that was really beautiful. And I forget how many pieces it has in it, but the quilting is exquisite. It's about as pretty on the quilted side that you see.
And she did the quilting?
No, she didn't do the quilting. There was, I don't know who she got to quilt it, but they did an excellent job. So she made, I don't think she had, I know this last one, the star that we saw, hadn't been used. Now this one, I think she had used some, but that other one she hadn't. I'm folding that before I should. Tanty bought it at I believe Greenfield, Indiana, when it was near her birthday time, and she had seen this quilt and had admired it so much. But I don't know what they were asking for it, but she thought she should tell her husband about it, see if they could afford to get it. And when she did, or she told the woman she would let her know in a day or so, or the next day perhaps. At any rate, when she told Mac about it, like most men, they never know what to give their wives. So he went over there and told the antique dealer, or he bought it, and he swore her to secrecy, not to tell Tanty who had bought the quilt. And she was very put out with the woman that after she had told her she would not sell it until after Tanty had gone back to tell her yes or no, and the quilt was gone. So the poor woman, she kept her word to Mac. She didn't tell her. And you can imagine Tanty, let her know that she didn't appreciate it. Then when she had the quilt on her birthday, she was a happy woman, but embarrassed, I'm sure, that she might have been a little rough on the woman, but it doesn't have it wasn't made for warmth. It wasn't made to use very much because it has no lining in it, no stuffing.
Maybe it's used for a bedspread.
Just the bedspread, I guess. And one thing that surprised me so much, some of these old quilts, this one in particular, it's almost square, just a few inches. So they were made to come almost to the floor, I guess.
I believe if I put that much time into it, I would want it to show.
It is so colorful and pretty. This is applique. The others that you've seen are pieced, but this is applique. This is a quilt that Grandma Camel made, and it's been used quite a bit, but Dad was always a favorite with Grandma Camel. He was the first grandchild she had, and there's a joke in the family. When Terry was born 2 years later, Camel came dragging, he had gotten him out of his crib some way, came dragging Terry out to the kitchen, and Grandma Camel said, "Oh, I wonder if he hurt his back." She didn't seem to think anything about poor little Terry being dragged. But that was a standing joke in the Wade family, how Grandma Camel was spoiled. Her first born grandchild.
And this was Grandma
This was Grandma Camel.
that made
Grandma Wade's, Miss Fanny Wade, Dad's grandmother.
Okay, but she was Grandma Campbell
And
that
she
made
was
this.
Grandma Camel.
Okay.
And the quilting on this is so pretty and puffy. I think that's been stuffed there to give it that puffy appearance. And she ran out of this green, and Grandma Wade, Dad's mother, tried to match it and finish out but it wasn't a very good match. But and I don't know the pattern of this either. I'll have to get some of my, a quilting book. Maybe I can find some of these patterns. And it was made by Grandma Cates. She, I was in high school, I guess, when she made this. And it's been used some. I suppose she wanted to be able to say that she had made a quilt, but she didn't do the quilting, but she pieced the quilt. She'd work on it in the evenings.
Well, that was a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. But it's a real pretty pattern.
Back in the house now filming coverlets, and we've convinced Connie that he should come in and help talk about some of these things.
This
Okay.
coverlet, I think Mama got at an antique place on antique store someplace. And I don't know what pattern, but this was the usual kind of coverlet that we'd see, very common in that day. But it was woven, it's linen and wool. The dark blue is wool, and but the size of it is huge.
Have to go high feather beds.
Well, it could be, but I don't think Mama ever used it. Do you remember her using it? And she just bought it, put in the
put in sale.
In the sale, as Ida used to say. Right. Talking about Mrs. Ernberg, she was a lady from Sweden who taught weaving at Berea. And Mama, I think she came here to speak to the Women's Club one time. And I've heard Mama talk about her. She was much impressed. No, I had just hemmed that up. I used this. It's just basted in. I used this on the little day bed in the playroom. But this dye, see, most of it was the dark bright blue like that. But this dye, Mrs. Ernberg said, couldn't get good German dye. And this faded. But that was woven at Berea.
That's wonderful. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is the one that is, let's get, oh, it's awfully heavy. Let's get the fringe in down there. This is
1851.
This is what they call jacquard quilt or coverlet. It was this Mr. Jacquard invented a certain card that they used for when they threaded the loom. But they see, it's the same design on both sides, and it was woven in 1851, and this James Craig, or J.S. Craig, Andersonville, Floyd County. Kathy had looked up.
Floyd County,
Floyd.
is it?
No, it's Iowa.
Oh.
And these coverlets, this type, came to this country. You have to put the plug in again, Connie.
Important boy. I believe we're loose now.
They plug it in again down there. This type weaving was brought to this country in 1824, and it was after that that they put the weaver's name or the client's name in the corner. But
That was a pretty thing.
and you say that Mama had given this to you and Ina.
Yeah, she gave us. Oh, she stayed at home years ago.
And then, Connie, you brought it out here to me, and I did like everybody else. I kept it in the closet.
Kept it in.
Now, this is a symbol. It's the Jewish candelabra.
His name's on. Is it on each corner?
No.
It's on these two.
Well, it is on each corner, you're right. It's on each corner. But I think that's the Jewish symbol. But the design is so beautiful. That's the worst place. That's the only bad place in it. And this is also wool. The dark blue is wool, and the light is linen. And that I'm going to use as a wall hanging in my mansion.